Come out from your father's house. Wow. That's my book's name, The House I Left Behind. I rushed out, my father's house collapsed. I woke up, I saw that was a dream. The following Sunday I went to the church, I was shocked and amazed. I heard my dream from the pulpit. A preacher was preaching there, the title of his message was, The House on the Rock of Jesus. In his message, he said to people, come out from your father's house. Your father's house is built on sand. Everything can destroy it. Jesus has built a house for you on the rock. Nothing can destroy it. Come out. I was shocked and amazed. I said, am I seeing another dream here? That dream and their messages encouraged me to be interested in reading their book. They gave me a New Testament. I started to read that. My goodness, New Testament is the mightiest book about God in the world. It's the crown of humanity. You see, 30 years I have studied all other religions and philosophies. That's why I'm begging you, you need to provide the ground for yourself and for your children to know. Honestly, I'm saying to you, the values of Christ are unique and yummy. This is the way, it just convinces my heart. That's the only way I can describe it. It was amazing to me. The gospel was amazing. Chapter after chapter was talking to me, put there. Honestly, I'm saying to you, mighty philosophy about God. Let me just give you, my goodness, are you okay? I'm going this long?
Continue.
You know John chapter 1? John chapter 1 is the mighty philosophical chapter. It says God is Word. Now, this is the same in all other religions. That's the definition for God in philosophy. If you ask Islam, Hindus, Buddhists, even Greek philosophy, Christians, scholars, Jewish scholars, who is God? They say to you, the Word. That's definition is the same in all other religions. But what kind of word, it makes it different. What kind of word? In them, impersonal word, non-revealing word. If you do not reveal yourself, nobody knows you, therefore unknown word. You remember even Greek philosophy in Acts chapter 17? It's written to unknown God. That's the Greek philosophy. Unknown, if you do not reveal yourself, therefore your non-functional word. Because your non-functional word, you do not know the word love. Because loving requires revelation. If you want to say to a girl or to a boy or to your husband, to your wife, I love you, you do not speak to wall. You reveal yourself to the person, you say I love you. You see, non-functional gods do not have the word love, justice, righteousness, peace, salvation, reconciliation. So they do not have any of this, but now I discovered the new definition for the word. It says the word became flesh. Aha, why? Because he is personal. Why did he reveal himself? Verse 14, to show his glory and truth to people. You see that God respects your freedom of choice. He said, I am not going to impose myself on them like Allah does, like in Islam. I am going to show my beauty to them. They will fall in love with me. They will see my glory. They will see my truth. They will turn back and look at their own miserable life and they will say, I want you. And then you open the door of your heart, he comes in, Satan runs away. Why? Because they never can live with each other in one place. You see, isn't that yummy? That's the power. That's what I'm saying. We need to know Jesus and touch the heart of people. This is what I am talking to Muslims, and they are crying. In my first talk in the TV, 110 Muslims gave their heart to the Lord. You see, even that 110 were those who dared to call me. There are many others give their heart, but they're afraid to call. This is the power of gospel. It really touched my heart. I say, amazing. Imagine after John chapter 1, you go and read Paul's letters. Wow, Paul is a mighty man. Paul is the greatest scholar. I was reading Romans chapter 5. He says, one man brought sin to this world, one man took it. You see the justice, one on one? Wow, it was in line with my dream. He says, one man, Adam, brought sin to this world. You please don't stay in the house of Adam. Come out. I have one man who has a good house. He is going to solve that problem. So come under the yoke of sin out and come under my yoke. So it was amazing. And also Paul was teaching me something else too. It was saying one man brought sin to this world in the Bible. But in the Quran, Allah brought sin to this world. In the Quran, Allah is the creator of sin. Now, is creating sin itself or not? It is sin. So, in other words, Quran is saying to me, Allah is sinner. Am I crazy to follow a sinning God? Paul says, my God, the God of the Bible, cannot touch sin, cannot create sin, because He is holy. Holiness cannot create sin. Holiness is like light. You don't ask light, could you please give us a little bit darkness? Doesn't make sense. So it was so powerful. And also I learned a social relational value here. Paul says, my God is not the creator of sin. Hey, you're a radical Jew, you're a radical Muslim, I'm a radical Jew. We hate each other, don't we? They really hate each other. And especially, Quran says, no Jew should exist in the world. Paul is saying to me, in other words, that hatred is not coming from my God. That's coming from man. So we have someone to reconcile us to one another. That's in Colossians chapter 1 verse 20. Through Jesus all were reconciled to one another and to God, Jesus. Glory be to Jesus. Only Jesus can bring Muslims and Jews together and make them the members of one body. And He did with me. Isn't that nice? Now I'm your brother. It's wonderful. So that's the philosophy I'm talking about. I finished the gospel, I lost my philosophy about Islam. You know, losing apparently is not easy. I lost my money, my family was not there, lost a little bit pride of philosophy. I was really in a way painful. Needed someone to come and just listen to me unconditionally without expecting anything. Who was that person really? Nobody except Jesus. So I started to read the gospel for the second time. My goodness, I was humbled so much. When I read, He says, love your enemy. Wow. You're talking to a terrorist that I love you? You're talking to your followers, love this terrorist? You're kidding me? One day I cried to him. I was embarrassed, ashamed, humbled. And the only thing I could convince my heart was to tell him, you should not love me. But I praise His name. He never listens to this kind of counseling. Glory be to his name. I was amazed. Everything is love in his doctrine. Love your God with all your being. Why you love God with all your being? Because he's the ocean of love. If you do not throw yourself into the ocean of love, you will not be able to love unconditionally. Love your neighbor as yourself. My goodness, it's the most powerful logic in the world. Imagine if you do not care for each other and love each other. This will be chaos here. Every selfishness will come here and rule over you. Like a body, he says, you're the member of one body. It's amazing doctrine. Members of one body, they love each other. You see my hand, my leg. In this 58 years old, for a single moment, I did not realize my hand say to my leg, I hate you. They love each other so much. They care for each other. That's the body. Yes. Jesus is speaking about that. Love your neighbor as yourself. Yes. And love your wife. My goodness. Your wife is a mute animal in Islam. The Prophet of Islam equalizes women with animals. I am speaking all with reference. You know, I have got 80 members of family, Muslim families. I love Muslims. Hatred is sin in my life. I do not encourage anyone to hate anyone. Love is the only way for saving. But I am telling you, Islam is a horrible religion. Introducing women as animal. Read their best commentaries. They called ladies mute animal because their prophet equalized ladies with animals. But it is shocking for Jesus. Jesus said, Gospel says there is no difference between husband and wife. Why? Because they both were created by the same hand, same God. That's not logic, that's selfish. Jesus is right. If husband and wife do not love each other, what kind of children they are going to bring up? I was amazed. I said, wow, I have to throw myself into his ocean of love. And I did. Then he did other amazing things. Next one, please. You see, I'm smiling now here. Next one. Brought my family, my wife and children, they joined me in Turkey. She didn't know I was a Christian. I couldn't tell her. If I told her, she would be terrified. She would divorce me on the spot. That's Islamic law. If you hear, immediately divorce. If you do not divorce, you're in problem. So I couldn't tell her. I couldn't terrify her. But I wanted her to come see the changes in me. Those changes are amazing. You don't understand what I'm talking about. If you're a committed Muslim, you deal with your wife. You treat them as animals. You can beat them, Quran says, chapter 4, verse 34. Quran 4:15 says, lock your wife in the room until she dies. 38:44, beat your wife with the branches of date. It's just like knife sharp. You know, a lot of other things. So I wanted her to come and see the changes in me. She was amazed from the first day because I was smiling a lot. I was calm, I was playing with my children, and also I forgot sometimes she was there, I forgot. I was singing with joy, singing music.
Oh, wow.
She thought I had gone crazy. I scared her. In the second week, she asked me, what has happened to you? I was speechless, terrified when she asked me. This is the second week. I need time to pave the ground little by little and say to her, Lord, why you're rushing, Lord? I need time, please. Give time to me. I was terrified, speechless, didn't know what to say to her because I told her she would be terrified. She could take the children and go back. Why? Because now she is the leader of the house, not me. I have changed my religion. In Islam, you do not have any authority. She becomes dictator. She has right to take the children. She has